Get out of my face, out of my face. Why did I say it like that? Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Jess and I'm also known as the Fat Funny One, and today we are going to talk all things productivity. Now, I get asked all the time, like, how do you do it all? And that's not to be like, because I'm just the greatest of all time. No, but I just have practiced so hard, especially over the last year, maybe 2 years, to be more productive with the time that I have. Now having 3 children and trying to be self-employed, it is a lot. Like, honestly, if I really want to get down to it, I'm just going to say be more productive by not sleeping, drinking 25,000 Diet Cokes and 65 cups of coffee a day. That is my life. But it's not. There are things that I have learnt to do, habits that I have created that really help. So I'm going to explain them, share them with you, and hopefully this will help you if you want to get that kick up the booty that you need to get more productive every day. So tip number 1, write a list. I cannot stress this enough. Now, if you follow me on Instagram, you know sometimes I pop a little list on my Instagram stories and it's literally my to-do list, kind of a big bulk of things that I've got to do that day. Honestly, if I don't write it down, 1, I will forget it. 2, I just won't remember in which priority order I'm supposed to do it in. 3, it gives me a real sense of achievement when I get to tick things off that list. Now, one of the things I will say is what I've learned to do is not beat myself up when I don't get everything done. I think that's really important, because one of the things you can do is if you get yourself into a negative headspace that you're unable to finish everything or that you're overwhelmed with tasks, then it can become really difficult to get yourself back into that motivated, productive mood. So writing lists, getting it down on paper is an absolute must for me. If you want to do that digitally, I do also use something called Trello, which is brilliant and it's free, and it's like your to-do list but online, and you can do it on your phone or do it on your computer. And I have loads of different boards with loads of different things, so like I might have a YouTube board, I might have a family board, and I just can move things and know what I need to do, and I use that for kind of wider projects. But my day-to-day list, kind of what I need to tackle that day, I either write on my phone and share on Instagram stories, or I write down on a piece of paper. Tip number 2, remove all distractions. I am so bad at getting on my phone, being on WhatsApp, scrolling through Instagram or Facebook, scrolling, and then on Facebook I'm the worst for watching a video, scrolling, and then obviously the algorithm is like, I know what's in your brain, I know what's in your brain, scrolling, and then it'll give you 55,000 videos of similar things, and then you're just on one. That is me. And so knowing to put my phone somewhere else and to try and minimize distractions as much as possible is huge. One of the things I do is turn the notifications off on my phone. So if my friends are WhatsApping me, if I'm getting a text message, I can't see them. And if I can't see them, I'm not picking up my phone or tempted to pick up my phone to answer them and then ending up in a conversation half an hour later. If there's a real emergency, I know someone will ring me, and 9 times out of 10, at the moment in lockdown, 10 times out of 10 the kids are with me, so I know that there's no real emergency that could happen to them. I know where they are, so I kind of don't need my phone at that moment. So I really try to turn my notifications off and put it away. If you want to and you can't do that, stick it in another room for a little while if that's what you need to do to get stuff done. The other thing that I do that's kind of in terms of this second point and distractions is have a screen time blocker on my phone. So I know there's loads of apps and websites that do this, but ultimately my phone shuts down at certain points, and so I've got an iPhone and there is a function in there that means that you can help yourself and it will turn off your apps, or it doesn't turn them off, but you have to like sign into them. It just makes it a little bit more difficult, and so you're less likely to be on it. So you can give yourself like an hour a day, and then after an hour it's like bye bye, and it kind of locks them for you, and it just makes it easier. Now, I started doing all of these things, and now quite naturally I can leave notifications on my phone and not get distracted because I'm so used to it, and I have created such good habits. But at first I was awful, so these were like extreme measures to keep me away from being distracted. Tip number 3, and I probably should have put this with the first tip, the things that you least want to do, do first. And the reason I say that is because once they're done, everything else on your list that you want to do or that's pretty easy to do, you're more likely to do if you've already got rid of the things that you don't. I definitely found when I was really bad at being productive that I would do all the easy tasks on my list, all the easy tasks, or all the things that I really wanted to do, if it was shoot content or do this, all the fun things, and all the things that I could not be asked to do, like accounts or receipts or admin, something that I just really didn't want to do. I found it and made it really difficult for myself because I'd leave them last and then just be in this like, oh, like mood and just reading my to-do list and finding it really overwhelming or just not exciting, and that made a massive difference. Honestly, mindset is everything when it comes to being productive. One of the things that I do is I do all the things that I really don't want to do first, and then I tend to do everything else later. So if I really want to film content, like today, I really wanted to film this video, I was really excited, I had loads of ideas, so I forced myself to do the cleaning and the washing first and then do this video, because then the rest of the stuff on my list is the things that I want to do and I'm quite happy to do and I feel better about, and actually everything else is done. Tip number 4 is block your time. Now, I did a video on block scheduling and we tried it as a whole family and it really worked. We went through a time where we didn't really do it and we just went by the wayside, but in lockdown we found it really helps focus all of us, especially Sophia. It is like golden for her. So what you do with blocking your time, or block scheduling as some people call it, is you just time yourself to give yourself that time to dedicate to whatever task it is you need to do, and once you've finished, even if you haven't finished a task, you stop, move on to the next thing and come back to that. So give yourself a block. Cleaning is like the prime example. I give myself an hour a day, sometimes half an hour a day if I actually haven't got that much to do. There is always much cleaning to do with 3 children and 2 cats and a husband in lockdown. So I block that time out and I will literally set the timer on my phone for however long it is and I will crack on. Whatever the time it is, like the half an hour ones, I'm super productive because I'm like, right, I've got half an hour, let me do as much as I can, and then once that alarm goes off, I'm like, brilliant, next task. And it really helps. So even doing the same with my editing, if I'm doing admin, if I'm doing computer work, the same with the children, we're like, right, let's do arts and crafts for an hour and then we're going to do some dancing or we're going to do something else, and it helps them not lose focus. It also helps them not get really bored when we're doing a task, to change it up a little bit. The other thing I found that it really helps is that it helps Sophia more so because she's older, she'll be 8 in August. It gives her more understanding and more structure for the day, especially when you're stuck at home. And one of the things that I found I was really struggling with was feeling really guilty of being like, but mummy's got to do some work, I've got to go and do this work, when I wanted to dedicate time to her. So with our block schedule, she knows that actually in that hour, and it's just an hour, mummy's gonna crack on, let me leave her to it, and then as soon as she's done, it's back to me and all the focus is on us again and the family. I do try and do that sort of stuff, like work and stuff, after bedtime, but sometimes it's not possible, and also I'm exhausted at bedtime, so I try and do blocks during the day too. But it really helps all of us kind of knowing what somebody else is doing, knowing that they're going to be dedicated to that task for that short space of time and then they're going to be back on it, and it really helps. It also just makes you feel so much more productive, and I think there's part of it that just makes you think, I've got to get this done, I've got to get this done, I've only got an hour, I've only got half an hour, let me crack on. And you're just so much more focused. I can definitely do more work in an hour or 2 if I'm doing block scheduling and I'm blocking that time out than I can in 8 hours if I was just sat at a desk looking at it. Then I'll go for a cup of tea, then I get bored, then I'll do this, then I'll scroll. It's so easy to just let your mind wander, and you shouldn't really work for long periods of time, the same task for long periods of time. It just keeps your motivation up and keeps your energy up, and I find it really helps. And my last tip, I think is tip number 6. What number are we on? 5, 6? Well, I shouldn't have numbered them, but anyway. The last tip is remember your why. And I know that sounds really silly and a little bit like, oh, whatever. I honestly feel more productive and get things done when I remember my why. Why am I doing this? And if it's even something as basic as getting the house chores done, I think, why am I doing this? Well, I want to live in a nice environment. I want it to be clean. And when that feeling you get when everything's tidy and put away and your house is clean for all of the 2 seconds it is when you've got the kids in the house, those moments, that's what I want for. So I know my why. My why is, well, I want to feel good. I want to feel happy in this space. So let me crack on and get it done. The other thing with work, if there's tasks that I want to do, even if it's like accounts or whatever it might be, what is my why? Well, I need to get this stuff done, but I want to do this work and I need to get it done because I want to live a certain lifestyle. I want to be able to provide for my family, my children and my why. I want to work hard for them. Again, there's that kick up the bum. So remembering your why and having your purpose and your focus in front of you really, really helps. I literally have a picture of my kids above my computer screen. So when I'm working, I literally look up at it and I'm like, right, that is where my focus is, that is my why. And honestly, I know it sounds a bit faffy. It's silly, it doesn't feel like a real practical help to be productive, but honestly, it massively changes everything when you just have that why and that purpose in you and you want to keep going and pressing forward. You have to find out first what's stopping you from being productive to really help. And for me, it was my phone, and I see a massive correlation between days I'm really productive and my screen time. If my screen time's down here, my productivity is up here, and vice versa. If my screen time's really high, my productivity tends to be really low. And so I know that, which is why I've put these things in place to really help me, because mama's gotta work. I gotta work, pay those bills, can pay my automobiles, can pay my telephone bill. I hope that helped. I hope there's something that's really helpful for you, that can help you be more productive and give you the boost that you need. Try them. If you've got any other tips that help you be productive, comment them below. It's not just helping me, but anybody else who's going to read them too. I definitely like picking up more tips that are going to help me be productive. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I know I say it all the time, but yay. And if you did like this video and it's helped you, give it a thumbs up. And that's it. I hope you have a great day. Be productive. You've got this. Bye.